Hey everybody! I hope you all had a great semester and that you're all able to enjoy a little downtime in the next few weeks. This semester has been super busy for me. Along with taking a full course load, I also started a new job and I've been training hard as a competitive triathlete. I've actually had a couple of competitions this semester, which I'm happy to say went really well. But I'm getting into my next big build and I've got my full Ironman in September. Along with all of that, I also have two kids and a husband at home, so this semester has been all about finding and maintaining balance, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate to. I've really enjoyed taking this class this semester, and I feel like I'm walking away with a ton of new and useful information. One of the topics that was an aha moment for me was the topic of food and culture. Um, as an athlete, one of my biggest focuses happens to be on nutrition and the importance of food as fuel, and sometimes even food as medicine. I also come from a Swedish Italian family, and our meals carry many of the traditional foods that my grandparents used to prepare for me. As a family, we eat a lot of fish, fresh vegetables, and whole grains, and we also try to stay away from processed foods as much as possible. I also use a lot of the traditional herbs and spices as natural remedies for colds, body aches, and other ailments that I may have as an athlete and just sometimes as a mom. Um, that being said, this class made me realize how little of the American diet revolves around a cultural palate and how many times we actually don't eat food as a way to heal our bodies, but as a way to simply survive, or we're forced into making the food choices that we make strictly based on convenience. Many minority populations tend to live in lower income urban communities, and they have a tendency to um, have difficulty finding food sources that offer healthy produce or healthy grocery options. And even some urban areas are labeled as food deserts because of the lack of grocery stores available in close proximity. We have actually seen a lot of this in the Tampa Bay area, and then in my county, in Polk County. A lot of the Winn-Dixies are closing down in lower income communities, and so it's been really hard for people to be able to go and buy groceries and find fresh produce. So, food culture has a lot to do with current societal, political, and cultural landscapes. I think society as a whole no longer relies on their own communities to produce food. Excuse me. A lot of times, we rely heavily on large-scale farms out in the Midwest. Whether it's corn or beef. And a lot of times, too, we rely heavily on food distributors. So, whether that's a grocery store, food banks, things like that, our food choices are based on what's available in those areas. Whereas before, people would have their own gardens, they could go out in their backyard and get fresh produce and eggs, things like that. We no longer have access to small farms. And because many of us are left dependent on what our neighbors or neighborhoods have to offer in terms of groceries and markets, politics also contributes to this because lobbyists and other political figures have control over what types of food products get promoted and pushed onto the American society for consumption. Some examples of these are soy, corn, and sugar. Milk is even another one of them as well. So, what we are able to get our hands on too has a lot to do with politics. So, very interesting topic. And after learning more about this topic of food and culture, it made me realize how important it is to help people in underserved communities gain access to the healthy foods they need and deserve. Food helps tie communities together. It helps people celebrate their culture, and it can be healing for the mind and body. So, as I continue to work towards my degree, I also hope to learn how to make healthy food more accessible to the people in my community. Again, I've really enjoyed this class. I've really enjoyed a lot of the communications and discussions I've had with a lot of you guys. So, I wish you all the best in the rest of your semester, and I hope you guys all have a great summer. Thanks.